Alright, this is the needle shuttle, thread needle, or net needle. Can be made out of anything rigid or semi-flexible. The best string for nets, fish nets, especially starting out, is cotton, because cotton compresses and holds knots better than nylon. So I'll show you how to load the net needle from any kind of cotton string or twine. You can just tie a knot, a simple knot, just something to hold it. When we get to the end of this piece, then you're going to have to tie more string on the end of this string to keep going, so this part doesn't really matter. So you get it on there, and then you go up, down, turn it over, up, around, down, turn it over, up, around that peg, down, turn it over, and then just repeat like that. So once the needle is loaded, as much as you're going to be working with, then the other tool we'll be using is a spacer. You can make these out of cardboard wrapped in duct tape, anything that has parallel sides right here. That's kind of the most important part, so that the net meshes will be consistent. This one I carved out of wood based on a design up north. It's got a flat side, this side's kind of rounded, and the top edge comes to a little bit narrow point, so that I'll be able to pinch the knot while I'm making it, and then the other part takes up string, but really they can be pretty much made out of anything. So once that first loop is made, hang it up, and then you can hang it off a nail, off of anything. Bring that knot halfways up right in the middle. Take your spacer, lay it on the working line. Bring your line up around the front. Hold it there with your thumb, and then pick up that first loop. Pull some tension on there so that that first knot is halfway in between, right there. And then let the string come through your thumb so that the knot, or that first loop, is held tight up against the spacer. Pinch those first two lines. Take your needle and go just to the left of that first loop. Pull it through, and then pick up the hanging loop. Pull it tight, and then set the knot tight and make it tight. And then take your spacer out, and now you have two loops. This next loop is the loop that we'll be working with. We're going to do the same thing off of this loop that we just made. Pull it up on the back side, pinch, put your needle just to the left of that loop that we just made, pull it through, and then set the knot and make it tight. Take your spacer out and repeat. I'm just going to move it up so that it's easier to work with. Stays in view. And that's the advantage of this technique, is that you can do it standing in one corner or one part of the house. You don't need to stretch out the whole length of the net. So that's about 25 or 26 loops. Take the last one and then the next one and gather it up into two hands, this hand and this hand, this hand and this hand, alternating each side as we walk up. So every other one is going to be on every other side. That. And take it off there and hang through the left side. Hang it through all of them. And it should kind of look like that. Then, so this part right here is the depth of the net. What we're adding here now is going to be the length of the net, adding one row at a time. And the difference on this part is that when we add a knot onto the spacer, we're not going to take it off of the spacer until the whole row has been completed. So to start, it's the same thing. Put it on the back of the spacer, bring it to the front, and grab the first loop right there, and the knot will be right in the middle of that first loop. So grab the loop, bring it down, pinch, bring this to the side, and then through, and the same thing, set it. But at this point, just leave this on the spacer. Bring it back, and then the tail, the working end, bring it down to the front. Hold tension with it. Grab the next loop right there. And pull it tight up to the spacer. Pinch. And go just to the side of those two. Bring it through. Grab the loop. It's the same knot that we've been doing this whole time. This last loop might be a little bit off because it's the first loop, but that's all right. So now you can see they're all on either here or here. And then you take the spacer off, straighten out your net, and then add the next row from there. Starting all over. So this is after adding a few rows. When it's time to move it back up closer, you just find a convenient spot, maybe right here, and we'll just gather every other knot so that it makes, so it catches right there. So there, 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 gather them up like that. Put them through. And then you can just keep working on this end, and your neck gets longer on this end. And it's the same as before. Just grab the first mesh, bring it close, bring it around, grab the next mesh, go through the first two, and continue on. And then keep going from there. Make the net as long as you want.